Okay, guys, I am live. I am live. I am live. I am live. I am here until she come on and she's on her way. Hopefully she'll make it in time. I am here. I am just blown away from all of the authors I've met today. I'm down to my last two, and I'm excited about these last two that's coming on. Um, God is so good. God is so good. God is so good. Okay, here she come. Let's get her in here. Okay, welcome. Welcome to the Herpreneur Boot Camp. Well, Boot Camp, Herpreneur Book Tour. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I don't know what it got your name as. I don't know. Okay, Portia. So Portia Bright is here, and I want to talk to her about her new book that's coming out. Can you tell them more about who you are, where do you live, what's the name of your book, and what made you name your book?
Well, I'm actually from North Carolina, of course. You may have heard of a smaller town called Greenville, North Carolina. I'm actually live near a smaller town near there. That's like a pinpoint because East Carolina University is there. Just to tell you a little bit about myself, of course, I am a legislative staffer. I work for lawmakers here in North Carolina in the Senate and the House of Representatives. I've also been a model and been on a few magazines and different things like that. And so I've also worked in the community doing work. So a lot of those experiences pretty much went into me creating a book, which is called There Ought to Be a Law, which is my children's book. I have to show you. Called There Ought to Be a Law course. Let me see.
Oh, that's
Yes.
cute.
Yeah, so it's an award-winning children's book. It's my first book, actually. And so, my co-author, Dr. Calvin Mercer, he's a professor at East Carolina University. And so, we've been friends for about, 7 years or so. And so, we decided to, team up with it, after I, contacted him, like, hey, I want to write this book, I want to do something different. Of course, he had written so many books, of course, from the higher education arena, but nothing to this degree. But he says this is the highlight of his career, of course. So we decided to team up with this book, of course. And the reason why I wrote this book is because I wanted to teach people how laws are actually made in our state because, coming from a low income community, I never had anyone take me to my state capital and talk about, lawmaking in general, which is one of the most important things that we should be learning about because that's where all the policies are set. That's where our budgets are set for each state. And so these are the things that we need to be talking about. And so I wanted to create a way that people can learn about it and digest the information in a fun and creative way. And so that's why I called it There Ought to Be a Law, because there really should be a law that we teach youth about how laws are made in our state. And in general, we should teach everybody about the process because it's an important process.
Okay. So you live in Greenville, North Carolina.
Yes.
Okay, great. So who motivated you to write the book? What did your inspiration come from?
Well, I kind of motivated myself, lawmakers. I was, learning so much information, and I was like, hey, I would see the little kids come to the General Assembly, and of course, I would have them a few times while I give them a tour, and my supervisor they tapped me to talk to them about all about the job and what we do here and all that stuff. But I felt like they needed something outside of that. And there's a lot of school shootings going on across our country. And so, you'd hear about, students becoming activists and, going to the Capitol and, trying to advocate for better gun laws and, different things that affected them in their school systems. And so I wanted this book to be a tool for them that they could use to better understand the process while they were advocating for those things that affected them in their school system. And so that was one of my motivations for doing that, to be able to provide them with something that they can, learn from and grow from. And so I talk about two important topics in the book, which is bullying. And of course, I added in the free ice cream because who doesn't like ice cream, right? So I added in those two topics because I felt like it would be easy to grasp a complex subject because there are, a lot of different steps into making laws, but I wanted to break it down into 12 easy steps. That way you understand the process versus getting into all the extra stuff that goes into lawmaking.
Wow. Wow. And so, where is the book located?
Well, you can actually pick up my book from brightbooks.org. And of course, you can find it at Barnes and Nobles, Target. I found it on Bookshop, Walmart. So I'm just finding it at different places online. And so, yeah, you can check it out in all those different places. At brightbooks.org because you can get autographed copies. And I also send little extra things too for your kids, such as bookmarks, crayons, pencil sharpeners, pencils, all types of things, just to show that I appreciate the support. And also, keeping the message going.
And you said Bright Books. What is it called?
Brightbooks.org. That's ERIGHTBOOKS.org.
And how old are you?
I just turned 35 October the 21st. So this is my first book, and I'm excited about it. I don't have kids of my own just yet, but I've mentored a lot of kids in the community, and so it's kind of like
Portia. I thought you was about 15 or 16. You look very young, girl.
Well, I appreciate it, Coach Nikki.
Girl, you gotta get carded.
Well, I still do get carded, and it's truly a blessing. They say black don't crack, and so I try to, take care of myself and stuff like that, and stay motivated. That's the most important thing, and try to keep Christ first, and all those other things, all those positive innovations will begin to pour out of you, and you'll begin to see that radiate through your body and to other people.
Right. So what's next for you?
Oh, well, I'm hoping to, do more, book tours like this, of course. More speaking engagements as well. I'd also like to, turn my book into a cartoon or animation. That way kids can look at it on TV on Saturdays or, on a kids network or something like that. So I'm working on that too. And of course, I like to continue doing criminal justice reform work because, all across the country, we're seeing, systemic racism. We're seeing, young Black people being gunned down. And so I like to continue working on that as well as continue working with lawmakers because, you know what, as a kid, I wanted to be a lawyer, but I ended up going to school for human services and substance abuse counseling. And then I just ended up into lawmaking. So that was kind of like the universe being like, okay, girl, this is where you should be. Right. And so, it's amazing how things just happen. In a real abusive relationship at a very young age, I grew up in the church, of course. And so my mom was always one of those moms that wanted to keep me in the house and pretty much harbored me as her only daughter. And so, when I got my first boyfriend, it was the wrong boyfriend, the absolute wrong boyfriend. And so that ended up into a completely horrible situation that I ended up, actually going into jail. First time ever been in trouble in my life. Very abusive relationship, and it could have cost me my life, but God saw otherwise. And so here I am now, with this message and the opportunity to be able to share my gift with youth as well as adults too. I've talked to many people who say, they're touched by my story because they look at me like, girl, you ain't been through nothing. But I'm like, you only knew. You never judge a book by its cover, because once I tell you my story, you be like, what? Oh my God, that's so life changing. I'm like, if God can do it for me, He can do it for you too.
All right, now come on, don't start now. I'm gonna put. Look, you're gonna make me preach you out of here now.
Oh my God! But that's the truth, though. It really is, and so I still, even to this day, when I get to telling people my testimony, I still get chills. I still I get started tearing up. When I start, getting to the story, and I said, eventually I'd possibly write something for adults, for women in general, especially for young women, to teach them about, some of the things that I've been through and how they can overcome some of their situations, because I'm pretty sure I wasn't the only one who picked up a wrong boyfriend and it turned, something bad when you thinking it was love when it's completely not. But God show you otherwise, that, I have something better for your life. It's not what you see, it's what I see. And so when you don't listen to those signs, you can find yourself in a horrible situation. And so that's what I did. But I didn't allow that to stop me, though. I kept right on going. All the many doors that were shut in my face. Oh my God, I can't tell you how many people that I've crossed paths with again that shut the door in my face and told me no and told me I wasn't good enough. Oh my God, and thought I wasn't going to be anything. Oh my God. God made it so they have to come back to me to ask me for permission.
Come on,
I
God.
told my mom, I'm telling you, the Lord knows it's true. I get the chills about it. I'm telling you. He made it so they have to come back to me to ask me permission for something. And I said, I'm not going to treat them like they treat me.
Girl, that's that favor that God has put on your life.
I know. Coach Nikki, oh my God. Oh my, I wish we had more time to talk about this, but you know how things go. But this is definitely something that I like to continue, doing and sharing my story and my testimony with other women to hopefully set them free as well. Because God gives us these testimonies to be able to set other people free and be able to show them that you are not just your current circumstances. Things can be different tomorrow. They can change in a split second. All it took was one person giving me a yes, and that changed everything in a day. It changed everything for my life in a day. And it has been amazing since that time. And I never looked back. Like I tell people, like I never wanted to be out of God's will again, for real. Like I always wanted to do my best.
Story on your story. Man, I promise I would love to read that. I would read it.
Yes, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna write it, Coach Nikki. I'm so focused on these youth right now.
You better send my copy to me and let me forward that book. You better do it. Oh my God.
For
they
sure.
Prepare you for yes, my God, that was good,
Definitely.
girl. Because you know when I said, well, Lord, I wasn't gonna bring you on this tour because I said, well, she's not talking about Jesus. But you see how you, hey girl, I'm just looking at you like, she's talking about this stuff. And don't get it wrong. I love your book. I think it's amazing. Cartoon is amazing. Yeah. I was looking for you to talk about who did this. So I'm gonna tell you something. When people ask you who inspired you, you better give God every praise you can. You tell them God gave you the strength to do this book. Don't never put yourself higher than Christ. Because he got to get the glory. He will not share his wealth, his blessings with nobody but himself. So when somebody asks you, well, who inspired you to write your book? You better give God his praise because you're a woman of God. God, he don't want you to he don't want you to pat yourself on the back. He wants you to pat him on the back so he can pat you on the back.
Amen to that. Of course, when you get a chance to check out our book, in the book as well, because I know that we're all, in different religions. I never want to impose your views on anyone, especially when you're dealing with youth too, as well as trying to be in the school system. So I do touch on religion in the book as well.
It's a time and place for everything. But when you're talking about a herpreneur Christian, this I told you up front, this Christian, baby, I need you to talk to me. And so me hearing your testimony, that got my attention because I'm looking at this beautiful girl and I'm saying to myself, ain't no way somebody hit this girl. It's no way until you start talking. And I felt you saying, I get chills. That's how I knew it was real because I said to myself, oh my God, you look like nothing what you've been through, baby. And there's nobody but the grace of God you be at. So I get it.
Exactly.
I get it. You don't put your religion on people because at the end of the day, your book is not catered towards a Christian cartoon or Christian whatever. But this tour is. So I want you to tell me how good God has been to thee. So we can know if God can do it for me, Portia, he can do it for me too. Amen?
Yes, he can. Amen to that. And that's for sure.
Well, thank you so much for being on my live. I really appreciate you guys. Go to Bright Books and buy this book. She got another book coming out next year. We're speaking life over that book. And we just pray God will just keep letting her write more books to bless more people because the best is yet to come. You ain't seen nothing yet, little girl. He's coming.
I know that's right.
And we show up and show out in your life. Amen?
Amen.
You take care. Good to meet you. Now I'll talk to you very soon.
All right.
Man, when I say I like her spirit, you guys go get the book. Brightbooks.org. Go to her page. Check her out. She doing some extraordinary things. That's very different to write a cartoon book. And it's teaching people about the government. We need to know about the government. We need to know what do this and what. And she's right now. Unfortunately, me, I actually did go to the Capitol when I was little, and I've taken my kids to it. But some people, parents, y'all haven't even took your kids to the Capitol. They need to know who makes a decision on laws, Congress, and all that stuff. And so make sure you check her out. I think she's gonna be doing some amazing things. Follow this girl. She got something. Watch out for her. www.brightbooks.org. Take my last interview coming up next.